Hello everyone, welcome to this new lectures. Today we'll talk about polymorphism, and these are the objectives of this lectures. So what's polymorphism? In the last class we take inheritance, and we know that in OOP the most important features is inheritance, where we can inherit from a class. We inherit the attributes and the property and the methods from these classes. So after the inheritance, we face a problem that the problem is that we might have a method with the same name appear in the two classes, the child class and the parent class, and this is the concept of polymorphism. So the polymorphism is the ability to change form is known as polymorphism. Polymorphism is one of the essential features in OOP. This is the mechanism of decoupling the behaviors from the message. So in order to change the implementation of one of the methods that the parent have in the child class or in the inherited class, this is called the polymorphism. So polymorphism means many forms. That means we have a method with the same name but with different implementation from the parent to the child, and methods having identical names but different implementations. So the polymorphism can appear in two forms. First, overriding, and the second is overloading. So in this class today we talk only about overriding, and in the next class next week we will talk about overloading. So overriding refers to the class that has the same method name as its base class. If we, for example, if we have method called test in the base class or in the parent class, and we want to make another method in the child class with the same name as test, so in that case we have to make overriding. And when we take instance from the child class, the method that in the subclass or in the child class will take the precedence. So the implementation inside that method, that's what will be implemented, the overrided class. How to override in Python? Suppose that we have two classes. Here we have we have a parent class and we have a child class that inherit from the parent, and inside the parent class we have constructor, and inside this constructor we have attributes, and inside these attributes we put inside parent, and we have one method called show. This method in the parent class, after the child inherited from the parent class, also he want to make the same method name show. So in that case this is overriding. So when we take instance from the child class, this will be implemented in this method, not this method, because if we don't have this method, okay, this method will be implemented because the child class inherits from the parent class. But because we override the method show, so in that case the implemented method in the child class will be fired. So if we go to the main program, here we can see the main program. We take an object from the child class and we call the method show, so the result will be inside from the inside child. If we see here, the value for this attribute is inside parent, and the value of this attribute is inside child. So if we remove this method, it will print inside parent, but because of this we override the method show, so it will print inside child. So this is the basic concept of overrides, that we have a method with the same name but with different implementation, and we can use it in to change the implementation. Also inside the overrides we have must overrides, and must overrides, that mean the parent class can force the child class or any class want to inherit from this class to implement a method. And to do that, usually the method that the parent class wants the other classes to implement is we raise an error called not implemented error. This is in Python. So as we say that must override used when you want to any class inherits from this class must override the same method name, because sometimes the parents leave the implementation of some methods to the child class based on their characteristics, and in that case we can do that by raising an error in Python. So to do that, parent class must raise a not implemented error in that case. So in this case we have class A and we have class B, and that inherited from class A, and inside class A we have a method that raises an error, not implemented error. So the class B directly after inherit from class A, it must implement a method called my methods, for example here, and put the implementation inside. Otherwise it might get an error or stopping the program because there is a method is missing. So after we can create an object from the P, which is the child class, we can call the method my methods, and we got it works normally, and nothing will happen. Here we have the same examples, but if we try to create an instance from a class that have method is not implemented. So here we have the parent class A that have a method that raises an error. We cannot take an instance from class A, because if we take an instance from class A, we cannot call the method my method, because this is will stop the program and will raise the error, not implemented error. So in that case we might get an error and the program will stop. Therefore it's not right to take an instance from such a class. Other programming language will stop you directly, but in Python you have to go to this step until you stop. So here we take an object from A, and the object, and we call the my method, because the A have method calls my methods, but it's not implemented. So after that we print hello. The result is we will get it's not implemented error, and the program will stop. We will not the program will not print hello after we call that method. We will take an examples and we will see how to do that. So this is an example. We have two classes, class customer that have several attributes and methods, and class hosting customers, and also have several attributes and the methods. So okay, let's see what's inside. Class customer first inherits from the person. That means we have a class person before class customers, and we inherits from person. And we have three attributes: customer number, customer address, customer email. And we have one of the method here is must delivery. Okay, from that point we know that this method it will not be implemented in the class customer. That means it will be appear in the inherited class. So here we can raise an error called not implemented error. And we have print profile, we have get item that receive an X as a variable, and we have get total price. We have another class here called class hosting customer that inherits from customer. So this is the class customer, that's me, this is the child, and this is the parent. And we have two attributes, customer domain and customer ID. Okay, we have add host and we have get total price. Okay, we can notice that we have here get total price, and here we have also here get total price. So this is this method will be override. So here the method from the parent, and this is the method from the child. Also we have to add another method called delivery, that here this is delivery, because the parent class force us to make this method. Okay, let's go to the Python and we'll try to solve this examples. Okay, this is Python. I will delete everything and I will close this one. I hope you can see like this. So first, because here we have class person, I assume we already implemented class person before, so just I will and I will make it pass, because the class person is easy. We implemented before that, have the person information like the name, age, date of birth, and address, telephone number, email. This is the information about any person. So we have the second, that is the class customer. So we directly will go to class customer that inherits from person. So here in this line, by this line we create the class called customer, and we inherit from person. Then we have three attributes: customer number, customer address, and customer email. So here we will create a constructor. Cast number, just like this, cast number, okay. Here we complete the three attributes. Then we have methods must delivery called method called delivery that must be implemented. So we find this is how to write the must delivery method, and we can raise not implemented error. This is an error that we want to raise. Then we have three methods: print profile, get item x, and get total price. So here we have this method called print profile, plus okay. The second method is called get item x, get item, okay, and that will receive x, comma x, also passed. We don't have we haven't go through the implementation of these classes, but this is to know how OBS works. So here we have get total price, and we can see that get total price also it's repeated here. That's mean this is in the parent will be overrides in the child class. So you find get total price, and we can print, for example, here this is from customer class. So here we completed the first class. We will now go to the second class. The second class is called hosting customer. I'll take this copy. So here we have class hosting customer that inherits from customer. So the hosting class inherits from customer. We have two attributes, customer domain and customer ID. So here I will make a constructor. Okay, directly after that we have two methods, add host, get total price. So and we will override this method, get total price. So define get total price, we can see it here. If we want to call the implementation that in the parent class, we can, as I told you before, we can write super and we call this is the get total price from the parent, but we don't want to do this. We want to print message that from this is this is from hosting customer class. So by this we didn't complete. We have to add another here. We have to add another method which is delivery, because it must override from the parent class. So here we have define delivery, yes, and here we can pass. Okay, we can say print this must okay. We will go to the main program here. First we create object equal to the hosting customer class, object dot So we have all the attribute and the method from the class customer or from the hosting customer class. This is the method that overrides only appears once. So here, if we call this method, so here we can try to call this get total price and we run. So this is from hosting class customer because we override this method. If we delete this method from here, that means we will call the method from the parent class. Here we still have this method, but it's from the parent class. So here this is from parent class customers. So this is how to override method and change the implementation, and this is the idea of polymorphism. That means we have different form with the same method name but with different form. See you soon in next class. Thanks.